The items you will need to replace a positive crankcase ventilation valve, or PCV valve as commonly referred to, include some common hand tools and the correct PCV valve for your application. The additional items you may need include a PCV grommet and a replacement hose. Always begin repairs of the cool engine. Next, locate the PCV valve on your vehicle. It will most commonly be located at the end of a hose pushed into a valve cover, threaded into the back of the carburetor or manifold, or simply used to connect two hoses together. Some of today's vehicles do not use a PCV valve or have it in a hard-to-see location. Refer to a service manual such as a Haynes for the location of the PCV valve on your vehicle. Once located, remove the valve with the hose still attached from the rubber grommet in the valve cover or manifold. Note the position and direction of the valve in the hose for proper reinstallation. Remove the valve from the hose by either loosening a retaining screw or simply pulling it out of the hose. Compare the old valve to the new one to make sure they are the same. When purchasing a replacement valve, make sure it is for your particular vehicle. Model year and engine size are important. Each PCV valve is different, and the correct valve must be used for proper crankcase ventilation. The method of shaking the old valve to determine if it is defective is not a valid test. Do not rely on this test when determining if your valve is defective. Simply replacing the valve every 24,000 miles will help ensure correct operation of the system. Before installing the new valve into the hose, inspect the hose for leaks, cracks, and blockage. Replace the hose if any deterioration is found. Push the new valve into the end of the hose until it is fully seated and reinstall any clamps if earlier removed. Inspect the rubber grommet for damage and replace it with a new one if necessary. Finally, push the valve into the rubber grommet, making sure it is fully seated.
Let's briefly recap how easy it is to replace a PCV valve. First, begin with a cool engine. Locate and remove the PCV valve from the valve cover or intake manifold. Note the position and direction of the PCV valve and hose for correct reinstallation. Remove the valve from the hose. Compare the old and new valves to make sure they're the same. Inspect the hoses and grommets for leaks, blockage, or cracks, and replace the needed components. Insert the new PCV valve into the hose. Finish by pushing the other end of the valve into the grommet until it is fully seated.